They've seen quite a bit of interest in people wanting to be poll workers, but they're still in need of more people to make sure they're prepared for November 8th.
I started looking around in ways that I could be involved in our elections, and I recognized that the county has a real need for qualified, good, hardworking people to work the polls.
Paul Lehner is a polling location supervisor. He first signed up to be a poll worker in 2016 and has only missed one election day since.
You're working from about 5:30 in the morning till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night continuously. So it is a long day, but it's very rewarding.
Elections officials say that long working hours sometimes causes burnout, but it's that way to ensure the poll workers they need are there and running each precinct.
If we had a shift and there was a shift change at noon, what happens if your reliever doesn't show up?
Montgomery County is still recruiting poll workers to have on standby if something comes up. And both Greene and Miami County elections officials say they're short on Democrat poll workers.
Everything we do in our office and with the poll workers on election day, it's all done in bipartisan teams.
This year, though, these election workers are seeing more people wanting to get involved in the voting process.
People have started to look into elections administration. And one of the things our poll workers say is they're so glad because they've learned so much.
You get the opportunity to meet a lot of people that you wouldn't meet in your community and help them play the essential role that we have in our democracy of casting the vote.
I reached out to the Secretary of State's office today, and a spokesperson told me his office aims to be at 115% for poll workers by November 8th. In the studio, Allison Gens, 5 on 2.
All right, thank you, Allison. And 3 weeks from today, Ohioans will decide a number of key races throughout the state, including governor, with former Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley trying to unseat Republican incumbent Mike DeWine.
Polls, however, across the board have consistently shown that to be an uphill climb. Here in your local election headquarters, I spoke with Dr. Mark Caleb Smith, the Director of Political Studies at Cedarville University, about the state of that race.
You know, Ohio has this great reputation, long-standing reputation as kind of a bellwether state, a purple state. We think of the colors. That seems to be changing over the last several election cycles.
And Dr. Mark Caleb Smith expects that trend to continue in the gubernatorial race. The latest Emerson College The Hill poll shows Governor Mike DeWine with a 13-point lead over his challenger Nan Whaley, which he says is consistent with polls since the very beginning of this race. Dr. Smith attributing the perceived large gap to DeWine's name recognition, long track record, and deep political network, which stacks up to be a tough bid for anyone to beat.
Now, he had some bumpy roads around the pandemic, had some complicated relationships with the Republican Party there for a while. But once he sailed through that, I think it was really an uphill climb for Mayor Whaley.
Dr. Smith says for Whaley to win, her focus on the overturning of Roe v. Wade and other social issues had to carry the day. However, the economy and other issues seem to overwhelm those arguments in Ohio. DeWine and Whaley have clear differences on many issues. However, you will not hear the candidates debate those differences. And Whaley points the finger of blame straight at the governor, telling 2 News in a statement, quote, "As candidates, we owe it to voters to publicly discuss our vision for the state and defend our record. Debating is a core aspect of democracy, and refusing to face the public and defend your record is nothing short of cowardly." DeWine's camp has not agreed to any debates, issuing this statement to 2 News saying the governor has agreed to several forums in which, quote, includes during the Ohio Association of Regional Councils forum, the Vote for Ohio Kids forum, as well as the Cleveland.com editorial board endorsement screening that has long served as a de facto debate. The candidates, however, did not appear together on the stage during these forums. Dr. Smith understands the strategic decision by the governor's camp to avoid a debate. Why introduce potential chaos when you feel comfortably ahead? But he adds, there is a responsibility to the voters.
But I think there is a civic responsibility. The voters really should hear and see both of those candidates on a stage together, exchanging ideas back and forth, and scrutinize them one last time.
Minus that, Dr. Smith sees this race trending soundly towards the DeWine second term. But
things can change, events can happen. Something radical could take place that would cause people to rethink their positions, but this feels like a pretty locked-in race to me.
2014 was the last time there were no debates between gubernatorial candidates. Republican incumbent John Kasich was believed to have an even larger lead than Governor DeWine has now. Kasich won that election by 30 points. Tomorrow, our focus shifts to the race the whole nation is focused on, the U.S. Senate race between Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance. To see all the key races and issues on this year's ballot, go to WDTN.com and click on your local election headquarters. You'll find that under the News tab. All right, turning to weather now. It's cold outside.
Yeah, it's cold out there today, and then we had some snowflakes this morning, which then gave way to some rain this afternoon. Let's find out what's ahead tonight. We go to Storm Team 2 meteorologist Steve Norris with a check of the forecast. Steve?
Yeah, I called it a little earlier a wintry potpourri, right? Because we have a little bit of everything out there. And eventually we'll get rid of all of this and some nice sunshine will return to the Miami Valley. But as we look at Live Doppler 2 HD, certainly no sunshine out there right now. What we have, the green is indicating a little bit of rain that we are seeing. And you can see that as far south as Preble County, the metro seeing a little bit of light rain now up to Fairborn. You can see that on the closer end view of Live Doppler 2. And that does extend on up into Miami County, Champaign, Clark, into Darke County, a little bit lesser coverage as you get up into our northernmost counties of Mercer and Auglaize, but still yet plenty more rain back to the north and west. And eventually when the colder air works in later tonight, we're going to see that rain transition over to maybe a little snow or at least a rain-snow mix. But we are cloudy temperature-wise right now. We are in the lower 40s across the area, and that's where we will stay as we head throughout much of the evening. John?
All right, thank you, Steve. And you can have weather updates sent straight to your phone by downloading the free Storm Team 2 app. Just open the camera on your phone, point it towards the QR code on your screen, which will then take you to a page on our website with links to download the app. We have new information about a deadly crash in Clark County. The Ohio State Highway Patrol identifying the victim as 30-year-old Zach Zoni Grisham from Springfield. It happened around noon at the intersection of US 40 and Upper Valley Pike. Troopers say Grisham was turning from US 40 to Upper Valley Pike when a truck hit her vehicle. Her vehicle went off the road and hit a guardrail. Grisham was taken to a hospital where she died. A passenger in her car was hospitalized and is expected to recover. 2 people in the truck were taken to a hospital. They are expected to recover as well. The cause of the crash is under investigation.
We now know the names of 2 people killed in a small plane crash in Marietta this morning. The Ohio State Highway Patrol reports 49-year-old Timothy Gifford of Orient, southwest of Columbus, and 45-year-old Eric Sievers of West Virginia were the only ones on board. Gifford was a retired Columbus firefighter. That plane took off from Columbus at 6:39 this morning and crashed into a car dealership less than 40 minutes later.
So right now it's going to be a matter of investigating, trying to figure out what exactly happened, and that's where the FAA and the NTSB comes into play to assist with that.
It's not clear who was piloting the plane, but both Gifford and Sievers were licensed commercial pilots. No one on the ground was hurt.
Coming up now, just 3 weeks away from election night, which could change the course of American power for however many years. What both political parties are focusing on to gain those last-minute votes.
And it's been feeling a lot more like winter, especially today, which means bundling up and staying warm. Storm Team 2 meteorologist Cameron Saliga tells us the warning signs to watch out for as we start to turn on our heaters.
We are 3 weeks away from Election Day that will set the course for the country for the next 2 years.
Democrats and Republicans are hitting the campaign trail for this final stretch. And 2 News Washington Bureau reporter Anna Warnicki is live in Washington with the issues that are dominating the conversations.
Good evening. Well, as we get closer and closer to November 8th, we're starting to see what the priorities are for each party. Democrats focusing on abortion and reproductive rights, while Republicans are concentrating solely on the economy. The countdown to November 8th is on.
Vote, vote.
President Joe Biden focused on abortion rights during a campaign speech in Washington on Tuesday, promising voters a major bill if Democrats keep control of Congress.
If we do that, here's the promise I make to you and the American people. The first bill that I will send to the Congress will be to codify Roe v. Wade.
In contrast, Republicans are hoping to take back control of Congress this November by keeping the economy and inflation at the top of voters' minds.
They're taking us down a bad path.
Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott told voters in Tampa on Tuesday that the Biden administration is to blame for high prices.
If you like paying more for everything, you should vote Democrat because Joe Biden did that. If you like paying double for gas, you should vote Democrat because Joe Biden did that.
The job market is strong. The labor force is strong.
But White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the economy is doing better because of President Biden's policies.
He's working on the economy every day.
The White House is scheduled, President Biden is scheduled to give a speech tomorrow on gas prices and new efforts his administration is taking to bring down fuel prices. For now, live in Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki, 5 on 2.
All right, thank you, Anna. And coming up at 5:30, we are speaking with another local political expert to break down the key races both here in Ohio and across the country and how this November could shape the presidential race coming up in 2024.
Coming up, we're all cranking up the heat during this cold snap, but you need to be careful when heating your home. An expert shows us the do's and don'ts as we head into winter. It's just the middle of October, but we're getting our first taste of winter this week with highs in the 40s and some snow flurries across the Miami Valley. That has many of us turning on or turning up our thermostats for the first time this season. But if you rely on other means to heat your home, it's important to be prepared. Storm Team 2 meteorologist Cameron Saliga spoke to fire officials on how to stay safe and warm when temperatures plunge.
A day on par with the first week of December has people bundling up or staying inside in the heat. But there are some things to consider when preparing your home for winter. Space heaters are good for warming up a small room or office quickly, making them a popular option in the winter months. But they also are the #1 cause of death among heating equipment fires. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, space heaters account for about 1,700 fires, 80 deaths, and 160 injuries every year.
We always recommend that you plug it directly into the wall, so no extension cords, no multi-outlets, directly in there. And then you want to keep everything away. We like to have about a 3-foot circle around that space heater so that no blankets, curtains, anything rubs up against it.
Ovens are great for heating food up, but they should never be used to warm a house. Henry says that ovens are made to keep heat in, and if they have to work harder, there's an increased fire risk. And there's an even bigger invisible danger if you have a gas stove.
With any gas burning or any fuel burning appliance, you also have the risk of carbon monoxide as a byproduct of that heat and combustion. So we always recommend that people have a carbon monoxide detector, at least one on every level of their home.
Before using any heating devices in the winter season, it is recommended to clean and inspect them.
Whether it's a furnace or a space heater, we want to make sure we change filters. We want to make sure we have fireplace chimneys and flues inspected, have your furnace looked at. So anything really that's a mechanical device needs some upkeep. You don't want to just keep using them until there's an issue.
Meteorologist Cameron Saliga, 5 on 2.
Now, your Storm Team 2 forecast.
And some great tips there from Cameron. Although we may not need those heaters as we head into the end of the week and into the weekend. Wait until you see those temperatures. I know it's cold right now, but we're heading for the 60s and even into the mid-70s. Take a look what we have on Live Doppler 2 HD, and that is predominantly rain for the most part. I say for the most part. You can see a little white return there, the algorithm on the radar, trying to paint maybe a little rain-snow mix there right around Mississinewa there in northwestern Darke County. Outside of that, this is pretty much all rain. Very light rain, a few sprinkles in some cases, and that does extend all the way down to Eaton, down to the metro area, and just south of downtown Dayton, also extends to the Fairborn area. Otherwise, we continue to watch that upper level low pressure system, which will start to move. It will start to meander or retrograde back to the north and northwest away from our area, and that will put an end to that persistent rain and that rain-snow mix that's been coming down from the north into the Miami Valley. But yet one more disturbance will come through as we head through the evening and the overnight hours, maybe a rain-snow mix after midnight. But yeah, that low will finally begin to pull away tomorrow, Wednesday. And then as we get into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see some sunshine, increasing sun along with that huge warm-up. We're talking about the upper 60s on Friday and then into the mid-70s as we head into the weekend. And the timing of that is great because the fall colors are right at peak now. I've updated the fall colors map here, and you can see Indian Lake, John Bryan State Park, Houston Woods, Cedar Creek, all very near, if not at peak right now. So yeah, that nice sunshine and the warmer temperatures, that will be nice to get out there and enjoy the fall leaves. 41 right now. The wind chill is 32. That's what it feels like. So dress for the lower 30s as you head out and about this evening, thanks to those winds out of the west and northwest at 16. And you can see there on our Poe Avenue camera, it is cloudy and we won't see any sunshine the rest of the day. But tomorrow, again, the second half of the day, not all that bad. Temperature-wise, around the Miami Valley, lots of upper 30s already. We won't get much colder than where we are right now. I think we'll drop down to right around 36 degrees, and that should be it. So no freeze watch or freeze warning or any weather alert as we head through the evening and overnight hours. Otherwise, along and south of Interstate 70, still in the lower 40s. Here's a look at future tracks. So I think generally just some scattered showers as we head through the evening hours, but that colder air as it works in a little bit later on this evening and overnight will transition some of that rain over to snow or maybe a rain-snow mix. If we see any accumulation at all, it would generally be in the higher elevations across the northern Miami Valley. But notice outside of a random snow shower mix there in the morning, that's it. By 12 noon, it's out of here. You can see the 12 noon timestamp there, and we're going to see those clouds scour out during the afternoon and lots of sunshine for your Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, although it is still going to be cool tomorrow. Tonight dropping down to 36, that evening rain shower potential. Otherwise, that wintry mix late tonight with that potential dusting north. And then tomorrow, just 50. That's unseasonably cool. Our normal high is 65. That wintry mix in the morning, but clearing skies in the afternoon. And then a freeze, dropping below freezing Thursday morning. So that will be it. That will kill everything that is growing right now. And then as we head into Friday, 68 degrees and the 70s for the weekend with another chance of rain late Monday.